Hi, welcome to Wholeheartedly for the Lord Bible Journaling with Sherry. Today's process video will be inspired by my husband, but I will get back to that a little bit later. Here is I guess, a draft, you would call it, of the page I'd like to create in my interleave Bible. This was just something that an image that came to my mind as I'm journaling this page. So, what I've done was draw a stream or a river coming down out of the mountain and added some trees and someone praying on the side. Well, you can see it right here, everything that's on the page. The hand I got from Google, the little person that's praying to the right is an image from the Faithful Heart Shop, and the trees are from Scribbling Grace, and the music symbols are from Praise and Pray. So it's a myriad of things that's going on in this page, and then the rest with the colors and the stream, I'm going to attempt to draw myself. Initially, it wasn't turning out the best, but I like the feeling behind it. I like that it's my personal touch. And in the end, I think it turned out okay, but hopefully the message is clear. And that's the point. The picture will show forth the message. And these are the elements that I put into my good notes and which I printed out. So, like you guys know, I'm doing the whole digital Bible journaling. So, it really helps me with designing pages as well. So, I wanted to show you kind of like the process and then how it all comes together. Thank you for watching. And remember, if I can Bible journal, so can you. Take care. Okay, I'm coming from Amos chapter 5, starting with verse 18, and I'm reading in the New Living Translation. It reads, "What sorrow awaits you who say, 'If only the day of the Lord were here.' You have no idea what you are wishing for. That day will bring darkness, not light. In that day, you will be like a man who runs from a lion only to meet a bear. Escaping from the bear, he leans his hand against the wall in his house and he's bitten by a snake. Yes, the day of the Lord will be darkness and hopeless without a ray of joy or hope." Here's the key verse. "I hate all your show and pretense, the hypocrisy of your religious festivals and solemn assemblies. I will not accept your burnt offerings and grain offerings. I won't even notice all your choice peace offerings. Away with your noisy hymns of praise. I will not listen to the music of your harps. Instead, I want to see a mighty flood of justice, an endless river of righteous living." That's what the Lord wants. My husband was saying that he had read this scripture and it just came to his mind and he wondered if I'd ever journaled it before. And he said all he can just really see is like stop, like God saying stop. So that's where I get the little hand coming up with the stop sign. Not the stop sign, but the hand get coming up that says stop. And then all of the little notes going around the hand to indicate God is not interested in all of the singing that we do in church and all of the praise and worship if we are not just, if we are not righteous. He said, let that flow out of us. Let that run like a stream. Let righteousness and justice be a consistent flow in our lives. It reminded me of the scripture where Jesus said in Matthew 23, verse 23, Jesus says, "What sorrow awaits you, teachers of the religious law, and you Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are careful to tithe even the tiniest income from your herb gardens, but you ignore the more important aspects of the law: justice, mercy, and faith. You should tithe, yes, but do not neglect the more important things. Yes, praise in church. Yes, worship. But our praise and our worship is not received from the Lord if there is no justice, if there is no righteous living, if there is no righteousness, if there is no love and kindness and tenderness. No, I will not accept your offerings. Away with them. And then the music that you sing, the songs that you sing, they are noise to me. As Paul would say, sounding brass and tinkling cymbals. So, beloved, let's look at the more important things, the weightier things. Yes, singing is great. Yes, quoting scriptures, of course, but it's how we live that show forth truly if we belong to the Lord. Mr. David Guzik helps me to understand this a little bit more. I despise your feast days. He says, this would have amazed and offended those in Israel who heard Amos say this. They told themselves that they were honoring God and pleasing Him by their observance of the feasts and sacred assemblies. But God was offended by their religious ceremonialism, disconnected from the heart, and justice toward one another. How how can we sing in church? How can we praise and what we call worship and pray and say we know the scriptures and we know the Lord, but righteousness, justice, love, tenderness, kindness, show forth that we belong to the Lord? None of that flows out of our lives. But we're very religious. We are at every ceremony. We take the Lord's Supper. We have prayer service. We go to Bible study. But he says, all of that is noise to me. This is what I want. I want the more weightier issues. I want you to show forth that you belong to me by how you treat one another. If my life does not align up with what I'm sharing on YouTube, I am a hypocrite and the Lord is not receiving it. He's not pleased. So I cannot think that I'm pleasing God and I'm unfair and I'm unrighteous. Let justice and righteousness run down like a stream, a flowing river. Let it exude from our lives. And my husband inspired this page. He asked me about this particular scripture. This is what came to mind, and I showed him the picture. He said, I love it. So here it is. So thank you, babe, for the inspiration. And I just love the fact that he loves the Lord and he loves his word, and that he brought that up. He's never asked me about um, a particular scripture that I've journaled. So I know it was something that was heavy on his heart and something that he really wanted me to do. He loves the idea of ministering in this way. He asked me, so I was more than happy to oblige. Thank you for watching me express my heart on this video. I love the fact that in Bible journaling, we can envision what we want personally. Now, if you read this scripture, you may go at it a totally different way, but that's the uniqueness of Bible journaling. And for me, this page expresses what I was feeling in my heart as I read the scripture and as my husband inspired the particular scripture for me to journal today. Thank you so much. Take care. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for your kindness and your love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. Just adding some final touches for the remainder of the page, just to kind of let it pop a little bit more. It needed a little bit more color. I think my mountains up at the top were kind of bland. I should have added a different kind of color to the tops of the mountain, but it's okay. It looks like grass is coming down from the top of the mountain. But again, this was just my expression, and there was little to no bleed through on the back. I think there was a little bit of shadowing, and that was it. But the picture came out really crisp, and I really wanted the emphasis of righteousness and justice flowing down the river. That was the main point. I added some texture to the stones on the side, the gray stones, and tried to fill in where the trees were, and that's it.